Out here once again at Kiggins Bowl for our Week 9 GSHL Football.com Player of the Week. You guys getting to know Parker Henry pretty well. Parker, congratulations. Big win over Union. Obviously, everybody been waiting for this game the whole year. What was it like pre-game? What were you going into the game? How big was this game for you guys?
It was a huge game. Pre-game, juices were flowing that I hadn't known that they could flow like that. Pretty intense before the game, and then when the game got underway, it's just an intense game all the way through.
So there were people here. I was here for the Fort and Bay game. I got here about 3:30. There was already lines of Skyview fans waiting to get in here to make sure they, because not much of Kiggins is covered here. But so you guys get the ball first. It turned right away into the Parker Henry and offensive line show. You guys walked right down the end zone, scored a touchdown. Describe the drive, describe what that meant to just stick it to them right like that.
The first drive was key to come out like that, because the previous week we came out a little flat, and it felt great just to be able to move the ball down and kick the ball in the end zone. And I barely got touched on the first drive, and these guys, they did work on the first drive and throughout the whole game. Really.
So then you flip it, all of a sudden Union gets the ball, and Brandon Brodyheim, they walk right down the field, score a touchdown. 7-7, you obviously at that point know you're in for a ball game. You guys then ended up getting a lead. You got the safety. You ended up scoring 3 rushing touchdowns. Halftime you had a lead. What are you guys talking about though?
Halftime we were just saying 0-0 game, because we knew if we went out and won the second half like we won the first half, that was going to be our time, and being able to go out there and get it.
Yeah. So again, they kept it close the whole game. Statistically, you guys were about dead even as far as your runs to theirs and passes. They made a couple of mistakes. They had the safety, the muff punt. What has that been like with your team so far? It seems like you guys haven't made a lot of mistakes all year.
Yeah, in these big games like that, and from here on out, the key, all the teams are so good from here on out, the key is going to be turning over the ball, and whoever turns over the ball the least is probably going to come out on top. And, we were able to do that, and they had some turnovers, and we were able to capitalize on it.
So you had, 180 rushing. You also had the big screen pass. Describe that play, set up. What was going through your head as you were getting closer and closer to the end zone?
It was just a great call, first of all, because they came with a big blitz, and we called a screen on the right play. And I know I cut right off of Jonah going down the end zone, and just didn't want to get caught from behind, just thinking get to the end zone. But that was a great play, great blocking again.
So you played the tough games against Sherwood, and then obviously Coeur d'Alene over there, and then you played Camas in week 4, and then now this game against Union. Having Tanner over there, and Brandon and Rigo, and the other guys they have on the defensive line and their linebackers. Kind of describe how physically that game was compared to a couple of the other big games you had.
That was right up there with them. Those early games in Camas prepared us well for this game, I think. I think if we wouldn't have played a tough out-of-the-league schedule, that we wouldn't have been prepared for this game. But we were ready for the physicality of, what Union always comes with. We were ready for it, and it was just a fun game.
Yeah. So again, you had the big game. Your line obviously has been doing, like you said, doing work all season. Win the league championship, and then man, you guys got Camas on the other hand, that's a nice draw.
Yeah.
You guys, that's a tough draw. Obviously, you're good enough to win all these games. Is it kind of exciting, though, to think you're going to finally, after you get the game with Union where you had to play a full game, you hadn't had that since the Camas game.
Yeah.
Is that pretty exciting, you guys, too, as a line? Like, hey, we're not getting pulled in the third quarter. This is going to be fun. The crowd's going to be in it the whole night. Describe.
Yeah, this is what we signed up for. We want to play playoff football and play 4 quarters, and we're looking forward to any challenges that come our way. And Issaquah is a really tough team. They're 7-2 and they lost to the top 2 teams in the state. And they're a great team. It should be a great game.
Yeah. Well, hey, you guys are really good as well. So we've known that all year. The early 2 losses. I talked with one of the guys, Doug Pacey from Tacoma, early. He asked me where I thought you should be. I said top 4 or 5 preseason, but I said don't be surprised if they start 0-2 and you look bad for picking them early, but don't be surprised if they're there at the end of the season. And And so far, you know, you guys are doing all that. Congratulations again. Parker Henry, our Week 9, GSHLFootball.com, New Athlete Player of the Week.